So today we're going to go into Gobekli Tepe. So this is the layout of the whole thing, right? You can see where it's at in the world. It's in Turkey. It's in Turkey.
Barely.
Yeah, it's kind of close to Syria. But you can see the immense layout of this place. And they're still uncovering it as we speak.
All right. I'm gonna swap out your screen because I think I got something that shows the scale a little bit better.
Okay.
So this is a full-size truck. These are the tents covering it up. It looks like a dot next to those. This thing is huge.
It's ginormous. It's absolutely ginormous. And it's kind of weird that they put those roofs over it, the canopies or whatever. It's kind of weird, but
it is, but it isn't. I mean, it's fertile land, but it's still pretty dusty. I would imagine wind blows up and it would start just filling everything back in. And seen archaeologists work before, they work slow as shit.
Well, they have to. They got to be very careful with it all.
No, I'm not complaining. I understand it.
But it's just an immense complex that hunter-gatherers should have had no business anywhere near.
Yeah, air quotes hunter-gatherers.
Yes, air quotes hunter-gatherers. It's full of all these crazy T structures, and there's a name for them, and I'm brain farting on it.
Those look like a proto-Greek and Roman column. Like they were playing with the idea and got it to work.
And the whole place is full. There's dozens of these giant stone pillars, and they're all carved on the sides and on the fronts and on the back with like different animals. That seems to be the majority of the carvings is different wildlife.
So I'm going to make a quick joke here. So there were white women involved, and it was astrology.
There's nothing out there. It's just desolate.
Yeah.
And you can see all the pillars here sticking up out of the ground, all the different chambers and walls and rooms.
Dude, do we have something to show the scale is? Oh yeah, they're fucking huge.
And you can see the what is that, a cow or a buffalo or something?
Yeah, it looks like an ox or a cow.
Something, right? This place is absolutely fascinating.
It's insane.
And you can see how the carvings are pretty intricate for what it is. There's a very obvious scorpion. And some of this has been a little lost over time, but those are very clearly birds. And you see on the very top, these 3 handbags.
Yeah.
See the handle and then the square.
It's a weird design feature.
Oh, we're gonna go into this at a later time because this is crazy bizarre. But you'll see this same exact symbol all across the planet in these ancient temples and architecture sites. They're everywhere.
Okay, let me check on chat real quick. XCOM are coming in. They found 11 more hills around there as well. Do you know what he's talking about?
I know in that part of the world, I don't know specifically what he's talking about, but I know that that part of the world and the further east you go, like in China, there's all these different burial mounds. And like the Chinese government specifically won't let anybody dig them up. But they're like the Terracotta Army, for example, most of it's still underground and never been disturbed.
Yeah. Super V dropping in, showing us love. Thanks, Super.
How you doing, sweetie?
Constellations. I think we briefly touched on that or made a mention of it. That's what it might be. which would make sense if it was tracking constellations and time of the year for planting and harvesting.
Well, and there is like we were saying, it does show it aligns with the solstices as well. Like there's definitely some kind of uh, astronomical importance to this site, 100%.
All right, Blandrus asking some questions. What was the train like thousands of years ago? It was probably very similar. I took some classes. I know enough to say it was probably really similar. I do believe most of that area in Turkey is hard stone with some soil, so it's not going to change too much over a few thousand years.
Well,
But there are some changes.
we're talking 12,000 years though, not a few thousand.
It's a few thousand.
It's a
It wouldn't have changed so much that it would have gone from like plains to hills.
No, but I do think that at the time this was a much more lush region. I think there was a lot more grassland than rockland, so to speak.
Well, even going back to the old Assyrian empires, they had fertile land like it was nothing. Like there were tons of rivers that have dried up since then and dried up that whole area. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. It's probably very similar to what it was today. Maybe just a little more growing there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
Yes.
They're absolutely ginormous.
X-Comer mentioning the handbags.
We'll get there, buddy. We'll do a whole show on them. They're wild.
Looks like Jonathan's chiming in, agreeing with that. So I want to be enlightened. We'll definitely have to cover that. Belandris could be a basket.
Well, it absolutely could be. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they're supposed to represent. What we do know is that they're all over the place. They're all across the planet. So whatever they are is, in my humble opinion, likely to demonstrate some sort of a global community. You know what I mean? It shows, in my opinion, it shows that people were way more connected across the planet than we ever gave them credit for.
Most of this is still going through that. Some other random stuff. I want to touch on handbags because I'm interested to hear your take on it. Because I've got some theories about a lot of these structures and the global community theories that aren't popular with the people who like the weird stuff, but I get it. Yes, Jess, thank you. If you're watching, drop us a like. Make sure you're subbed. Let's get more stories like this. And oh, Cool Frog stopped by. What's up?
What's up, Cool Frog? How you doing, buddy?
Isn't this in the Fertile Crescent area?
I believe so. I believe so, and I could be wrong.
It's technically a little outside of it, but it's the way it's dating. This definitely would have been a fertile area at the time. All right. Let's get through the rest of these. I want to see some more.
So we've got a couple more pictures here, but you can see like all the crazy carvings on this thing.
Yeah. Those look like foundations.
They do. Some kind of lizard or something. I don't know what that is exactly.
It's like a dog or a cat to me, but I wouldn't throw a lizard out. Like this took serious work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Huh.
We've got we can go over more pictures or get into some writings on it. Up to you.
Let's get into some writings.
All right. So we're not going to cover this whole article because, well, maybe we will. So this article by Gaia, What is Göbekli Tepe? Facts, History, and Speculation. There are many wonders of the ancient world which boggle our minds and inspire awe in our hearts. But what happens when a site of such precision and magnitude proves beyond a scientific doubt the existence of man to be older than anything known before? Such is the case of Göbekli Tepe, which puts human history as we know it into question. First uncovered in 1994, uncovered, yes, discovered originally in the 60s, like I said earlier. By a local shepherd in Turkey, Göbekli Tepe contains megaliths weighing 7 to 10 tons and stands 18 feet high. Carbon dating firmly establishes its age at 12,000 years old, 7,000 years older than Stonehenge. Biblical history is commonly accepted and dates humanity at a mere 4,000 years old. Linda Moulton Howe proclaims that this discovery literally doubles the age of human history. What is Göbekli Tepe? In the time of cavemen, just before the Ice Age, without the wheel, tools, or agriculture, this was supposed to be here before the wheel, y'all. Göbekli Tepe appears with advanced technologies, detailed architecture, and astronomically aligned with the cardinal directions. Lying in the very heart of the cradle of civilization, this exquisite preservation is a gift of epic proportions. Buried for 10,000 years, the sacred site was discovered quite by accident in 94. German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt was called in for his expertise, and what he unearthed created a quandary of our understanding of humanity. The level of technique and detail is what first stands out. Richly carved in limestone, animals of the world are captured in both intricate carvings and sculptures. The impressive scope of wildlife depicts foxes, birds, boars, and snakes. The T-shaped megaliths, soaring some 18 feet tall, stand boldly in place. The carvings on these are carefully crafted with hands, arms, and clothing. These towering beings all face each other in a near-perfect circle. Klaus Schmidt's belief was that Göbekli Tepe was a sanctuary site, dubbed the world's first temple. No bones, no cooking utensils, nor tools lie among the ruins. Well, that's been proven false since. It appears that this was not a place where people lived, also proven false since. Maybe not proven, but questions have arisen. Only pristinely preserved structures standing in glorious contrast to the desert they now inhabit. Göbekli Tepe appears out of the primitive beginnings of civilization when brutish humans gathered berries and hunted as nomads. From these crude origins, a site that questions all accepted history appears out of nowhere. Did these Neolithic men stumble into sophisticated craftsmanship, or was there a spark that inspired their skill? Graham Hancock, again, suggests there must be an outside influence that taught advanced masonry to humans. He calls this a transfer of technology. Whether descended from the stars or a lost civilization, which the world has forgotten, it is these lines of inquisition that inspire the greatest possibilities for the creation of Göbekli Tepe. It covers a few strange possibilities, shall we say. But I'm going to hit on this one. The intentional burial of Göbekli Tepe spawns even more questions. The carbon dating locks in its creation at 9,000 BCE, though it was only discovered in 94. The hill was a pastoral landscape known as a potbelly hill, and for eons, no one knew what lied beneath. If we expand the Nephilim possibility, the burial of Göbekli Tepe could have been the literal cover-up of this misstep of human history. Note, Göbekli Tepe was not destroyed outright, but rather cautiously buried under 20 feet of sand, a further testimony of its significance and a clue that its secrets are waiting for us.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to do out of that one.